Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Regeneration of Stars Selection Pack NR format breakdown. If you don't know what that is when you play with only the lowest rarity cards. So you can see down here we've got the rares and we've got the commons, and all that brand new shiny stuff we are going to be taking a look at now. So without further ado, let's get into it with Regenesis Warriors. So the Regenesis cards, very nice generic cards. And interestingly, very useful still in the NR format, even though a lot of our boss monsters fluctuate between stat lines. So you can see if a monster with 2500 original attack or defense is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand, and quick effect, you contribute this card, then target one monster your opponent controls, return it to the hand. Interestingly enough, there's also a graveyard effect during your opponent's end phase. If this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can add this card to your hand. Now this card and Regenesis Dragon are both incredibly useful because Regenesis Warrior contribute itself and target a monster and bounce it. Regenesis Dragon contribute itself, target a spell trap, and banish it. That's really good, very nice removal. But importantly, it has a significant weakness to a card called Primite Roar. So if I pull this up right now, you can see, not Primite Roar, Primite Howl. Because you can see that during your opponent's turn, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target a normal monster you control or in your graveyard, take control of one monster your opponent controls with higher attack until the end phase. So what you can do is if your opponent drops one of these Regenesis cards on you, you can take their Regenesis, tribute it for its effect, and then they won't get it back because it says during your opponent's end phase if it's in the grave because it was sent there. So it importantly can really only be used as a quick effect if you want to keep the recursion. Now, I am personally a huge fan of these cards. I love the Regenesis cards. I think they're a very neat set of cards in particular. And so you can see one of them's level 8, one of them's level 7, but we also got Regenesis commands. Apply these effects to all cards your opponent controls in the same column as your Regenesis monsters. Face-up cards negate their effects, face-down monsters cannot change their battle positions, and face-down spell traps cannot be activated until the end of the next turn. So this is a nice way to take advantage of the Regenesis cards. Granted, considering we only have 2 of them, it's likely to be a little bit less playable overall. However, it's still a very nice card in general. So now, we move on to Regenesis Cycle. If you control a monster with 2500 original attack or defense, target a card your opponent controls, or 2 if you control a card that is not in the format, so absolutely we're not targeting 2, target 1 card and banish it. So that's really good just generically. I mean, this card can be used in any deck that can produce a 2500 original attack or defense monster. And if it's in the graveyard except the turn it was sent there, you can banish it to special summon a monster with 2500 attack or defense from your hand. Very strong effect, very easy to use in almost any deck that can make, a boss monster like that. But I highly recommend giving it a look because all 4 of these Regenesis cards could have the backbone for a very nice strategy, including a 5th card that is not Regenesis by name, Dragon's Mine. When a spell trap card or monster effect is activated and you control a monster with 2500 original attack or defense, negate and destroy that card at activation. And if this card is in your graveyard, you can play 2500 life points to set this card and banish it when it leaves the field. This card's nuts. I want to be perfectly clear, I did not expect to get this card at all. But Dragon's Mine, it is an Omni Negate. It is just if you have a Regenesis statted monster. You don't have to have a Regenesis by name, but it's still very easy to use. And the fact that it can reset itself a la Lost Wind, which by the way, Lost Wind, if you don't know, this card is bannably strong. It's limited currently, I believe, somewhere on the list. If your opponent special summons a monster from your opponent's extra deck while it's in your graveyard, because this card can recycle. It's a battle trick. It can be used on special summon monsters to negate their effects. It is such a good card, and this card as well is incredibly strong. And for only a 2500 life point cost to have a second Omni Negate on the field, very good. Now, we move on to a secondary strategy. This will likely only see play in its deck, but these combos are so good in this deck that it genuinely might spark some meta viability into this deck that it didn't already have. Code Igniter. 2 level 4 monsters, it's completely generic. This card is Xyz summoned, you can add a Cyberse Ritual monster from your deck to your hand. You can attach 1 material from this card, Ritual summon a Ritual monster from your hand by attributing monsters from your hand and or field whose total levels equal or exceed its level. And if this card is sent to the graveyard as link material, you can add 1 AI trap from your deck to your hand. So this is a new piece of Ignister support. This card is really strong. It's completely generic and can search one card in particular called Cyber Sage, which I will get to in a moment. It's not new, but it's very strong. But here you can see a very secret neat tech in that Time Thief Regulator is a one-card combo to get there. So Time Thief Regulator, if you control no other monsters, you contribute it, special summon 2 Time Thieves from your deck with different names, and then it has another effect, but it's not a crazy useful effect. What you can do is you can summon Time Thief Adjuster and Time Thief Bezel Ship. You don't have to worry about what they do on the field, except that Adjuster can send a Time Thief card from deck to grave. So Adjuster can send a second Bezel Ship. From there you overlay into Code Igniter, and you can use its effect to search the Cyber Sage. Then the Bezel Ship in your graveyard can detach a material from Code Igniter and allow you to have a monster on the field to pay the cost. So here you can see Cyber Sage. If I pull this up right here, during your main phase, you can fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing materials mentioned on it from your field or graveyard, including a Cyberse monster. If it's sent to the graveyard as synchro material, you can target a Cyberse monster or a ritual spell in your grave and add it to your hand. This card, very, very strong, because it allows you to get to a card called Earth Golem at Ignister. So if I just go ahead and pull that up right here, Earth Golem is just a nice boss, and importantly, it has 2300 attack on a Cyberse monster, made with a Cyberse monster and a Link monster. Now, you might be wondering, and I know I'm going terribly fast, how are you using this third effect? And more importantly, how are you making the Earth Golem without a Link monster? Well, there's one more piece to this puzzle, and we will get to that once we take a look at Sidekick, the new AI trap we are getting. Target face-up cards your opponent controls equal to the number of Cyberse monsters you control with 2300 original attack, and negate their effects until the end of this turn. You can banish this card from your graveyard, target one of your banished Cyberse monsters, and special summon it. Now, the important pieces to this are really, really good, because that Earth Golem card I mentioned is a 2300 attack Cyberse. But how do you get the Link monster? Well, that's very easy. You play Gravity Controller. Gravity Controller is a generic Link that needs just one non-Link monster in an extra monster zone. So you place Code Igniter in the extra monster zone. It doesn't really matter what it does on field, but what it does is it uses Code Igniter as Link material. And again, going very fast here, but this combo allows you to get to a very, very strong negation trap while having extra Link material to spare. Or if you go for the Earth Golem route, then you can have a nice kind of mini boss monster. If I pull up Earth Golem again, you can see that it has some nice battle effects, which is really good. It can protect itself from monsters that are special summoned from the extra deck. So that's nice, and that is a great combo. But that is not even the only Cyber support we got. We also got Firewall Saber Dragon. This card is just a very, very nice level 7 Cyber Synchro. You can add Cybers from your grave or banishment to your hand. You can level modulate it to go into other extra deck methods if you need to. And if it's sent to the graveyard as Link material, you can add an AI spell from your deck to your hand. Fairly good card overall. Nothing really too much to write home about in any given single effect, but still very strong card. Will absolutely see play purely for the fact that it is a good card with the Cyber Synchro stat line, which is very good, and it has 2300 attack, which is important for Sidekick. So, moving on from that, we have Link Slayer at Ignister, and you can see the image is messing up a little bit. If a Cyberse monster you control would be used as Link material for an Ignister monster, you can use this card in your hand. And if it's sent to the graveyard as Link material, you can discard a card, target a spell trap on the field, or you can target 2 if it was used on the field as material, and destroy them. This card, fairly nice. Honestly, will definitely see play purely because it is just easy spell trap removal, and spell traps in the NR format have always been a fairly strong deck. So, now that we have this here, there's one more card, Kurikarinku at Ignister, a retrain of Linkaribo or Lingaribo, depending on who you're thinking about. Quick effect, you can tribute 1 Ignister monster, special summon this card from your hand to graveyard, but banish it when it leaves the field. And when a card or effect is activated that targets a Cyberse monster you control, and you control a Cyberse monster special summon from the extra deck, you can tribute this card to negate the effects. This card's a very nice piece of protection. It's not terribly good, but not bad by any means, and it can definitely be taken advantage of in a lot of good ways. A level 1 monster is very easy to bring out, even just with your normal summon. So I highly recommend checking out Cyberse in general, because Cyberse just got a whole bunch of really cool combo tools that could be used in a lot of neat ways. Then we move on to DD Post. This card, genuinely as well, did not expect to get in the NR format. Monsters you control gain 300 attack for each card type, monster, spell, or trap among your banished cards. So just free attack gain, which is very nice in a general beating format kind of position, where if you need to hit your opponent decently hard, you can. So once per turn during the main phase, you can banish one card from your hand or graveyard, then you can shuffle one of your banished cards into the deck. If this card is banished, you can place it face up on your field. So that's a really nice bonus protection effect, and what this means is that you can fix a lot of situations in a deck like Mutant. If you don't know what Mutant does in the NR format, you see, if I just scroll down here, Mutant ST46, Mutant Mist. This card is a decently strong boss monster, because you can banish when a trap card is activated, you can banish a card from your hand or field, draw 2 cards. Now with DD Post as well, that card comes back, which is an impressively strong thing to go together. It's just a free draw too if your opponent activates a trap card, so it's very punishing and a very nice piece for a control strategy. Finally, we have 2 cards that are not going to be as, crazy. Actually, this card can barely be summoned. But we have number 69, Heraldry Crest, Shattered Stream. The issue is, we don't have base Heraldry Crest, and we don't have Dark Matter Demolition. So this card does not do all that much, requiring 4 level 4 monsters as material. I don't recommend giving it too much thought. But we also have Flash of Heraldry, which is very bad, but I find very funny. Target any number of face-up monsters your opponent controls. Those monsters' names become unknown. And during your end phase, if you control a Psychic Exceeds monster and this card is in your graveyard, you can set it but banish it when it leaves the field. So this card just removes names, and it's very funny to me. So I will be looking at how to be a little bit silly with this, but overall, I wouldn't worry about too much. Now that we're moving to the end of this video, this was actually a fairly small set, but probably one of the best in the format's recent history. I'd like to give a huge shout out to 2 people, Triple Snackers and Wizrad. You may have heard their names float around my channel before, but they are 2 of the most knowledgeable NR players I know among a whole slew of other amazing NR players. And I will be sure to link their Twitters in the description below. So thank y'all very much for watching. My name is V from the Lavender Lab, and I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.